Townsville. We're waiting for the flag to drop, and then it'll be game on for the next 20 minutes of racing. And it's a good start from the rookie driver. It's going to be Rob White looking to make the moves from drop back behind Casey on the way down through this sweeping right-hand turn. We remarked about this yesterday, didn't we, Jack? In practice, how quickly the track narrows down here.
Yeah, absolutely. I love watching the Australian flag used to start a race. That's how it used to be when I was a kid, watching it back in the 70s, 80s. Cool to see that, but it's Dave Casey leading the way. He had a massive rollover yesterday, just touched on, but it's great to see him back out on the track in another truck, and he's leading the field into turn 3. But White showing the nose up the inside into 3. Too wide through turn 3. How good's this?
Casey trying to cover him off. That's Sean Richardson who's trying to make the move as well. Squeezed him across the bridge there. We both stood back from the screen, but they fight on as White drifts his way down into turn number 5. They hit the Battery World ramp. Casey runs next with Richardson. Then Weel just behind. They changed the shock absorber on his truck earlier today. And Paul Morris, the dude, had no brakes. They've rectified that. He's on the charge in a Hog 4x4 entry.
Dude's on the grass. A bit of a shortcut there on the inside of Paul Weel. He's on the hind side now on the exit of that corner. Dude using all the track and a bit more. It's too wide over that jump as they set up this long right-hander. This is a great start to the race.
He's taking it back to the day there, Paul Morris, living up to the hashtag Dude Mower. On his way down to the turn 11 hairpin, he runs in 3rd position. Milburn forcing the door open on the Mount Margaret Estates entry of Shay Davies and takes the position for now. We'll cover him off towards the end of the 1st lap. This is much more wilder than what we saw in race number 1.
Yeah, we just see Shay Davies missing that jump. He opted to miss it. You're allowed to do that providing you don't gain an advantage. But up the inside, a bit of argy-bargy. It's meant that Shay Davies has lost 2 spots, and he's opted to miss this next jump as well.
So White missed the ramp. He wasn't straightened up before that point, so he'll drop back with Richardson now moving to the front. Morris on the back of White now heading down the turn. I expect the dude to make the move here. And tucked in behind is Paul Weel as Davies pulls out to repass with a bit of contact on Milburn down here.
Oh, Milburn looks like he might have been sizing Shay Davies up. Bit of a tap on the right rear corner of Shay Davies' truck there. We see Toby Price trying to sneak his way up past as well.
So a bit of feeling here in race number 2 of Boost Mobile Super Trucks. There's Toby Price, race 1 winner earlier today, running back in 6th position ahead of White, who's falling down the order here, leading the initial start of the race. But it's Richardson, his old sparring partner, Paul Morris, right behind. Expect these two to duke it out over the next few laps.
And you may notice our orange bollards there. That's to make the cuts a little bit slower on the entry into turn 5 and 6. But it's Dude Morris up the inside. Oh, he's cut across that apex curve at turn 5. He's got the job done through 6. Bit of 4-wheel drive there by Paul Morris, suiting his sponsor, Hulk 4x4.
Bit cheeky, wasn't it, on the inside? Some of the tracks we've been to, that if there's racetrack there, they can use it, even if it's on the inside of the curve. Not sure how race control see it that way here. But nonetheless, he leads down to the turn 11 hairpin. Davies pushing the KMC Wheels entry of Paul Weel.
It shows you how good the suspension is on these trucks, isn't it? They're designed to handle these big jumps, but also mowing over the curbs. I mean, we see Supercars use a lot of curb as well, but Paul Weel,
no.
oh, huge. Milburn's got in the back of Shay Davies. Body work on the ground there at the last corner. It's all happening down here.
You can hear the contact of the final hairpin. It's peeled away in the sign event bonnet. And now we'll keep the engine nice and cool in these warm conditions at Reed Park. So the final turn, resembling a bit of a yard sale at the moment. It's down to turn number 2 we go. Weel down the inside of Richardson now.
He's got the right sponsor in Sign Event. They're going to need some new stickers after this one.
It was already starting to break away, wasn't he? The white truck behind now. Thump into the back of Shay Davies. And parks the Mount Margaret Estate entry back into 6th position. There it is in the background, just by the NTI sign. Fiberglass and debris all over the track.
And Trav Milburn's bonnet flew up. Toby Price tried to get out of the way, but realised just as easy to drive straight through it, and the bonnet went straight underneath Toby Price's truck. Well, we're back live here now. You see Paul Dude Morris leading from Paul Weel. Trav Milburn's truck, as you say, a bit more air conditioning going on for that engine with the bonnet and the front bodywork missing, but Dude Morris using his unique line through 5 and 6, and Paul Weel starting to copy him through there, and notice that might be the quick way around here.
Get the feeling he's thinking, if you can do it, I can do it too. And now he's got the Hog 4x4 in his target. On the way down to turn number 11, they squirm under brakes into this tight hairpin that tripped over the 1-2-1 entry of Dave Casey yesterday. He runs back in 8th position. Rob White's gone back into the pits, incidentally, in the number 11. So a start from the front row, has ended up in the pits for the former two-time Australian drifting champion. So we've got a race on here, Jacko, so they come through to complete another lap.
Well, they come around there, you see all that debris still over the racetrack, but it's good to see these first 5 trucks still right in the thick of it. Paul Weel looking for a move on Paul Morris. He switched to the outside, thought better off it, settled back in behind Paul Morris, and now he's on the inside having a look into turn 2.
Richardson sitting back in the mix as well with Toby Price and Milburn. It's into the right-hander. Weel try to switch back. It's a classic move down there at turn number 2. You can get the power down enough, you can set yourself up for turn number 3. But the dude's got him covered here. So they work their way off Charters Towers Road and back inside the Reed Park precinct.
See Trav Milburn back there in 5th. He's right on the back of Toby Price. It's worth mentioning that all these stadium super trucks are steel frame with fiberglass body. So the body in itself, the body skin that we see all the signage on, they're quite lightweight, and they do, you know, they're designed to kind of break up like they do, and the steel frame underneath's the one that offers the protection to the drivers. 1,300
kilos, the weight of one of these trucks, about 600 horsepower, so a whole lot of fun. As now the comp caution comes out to calm him down. Morris just puts a hand out the window. So he's acknowledged that, and that's the work going on to Rob White's entry down here.
Great shot, mate. You don't often get to see under the skin there, but look at those massive shock absorbers in the front of these trucks. They are just designed for all this big, heavy jumping that you see. And you can see the engine back in there. So they're a 600 horsepower Chevy LS engine, all have the same transplant, well, power transplant and power driveline. And you can see great shot under there. You can have a good look under the skin, but real heavy-duty stuff there.
Yeah, that's the shocks to the driver's best friend in one of these. No question about it. So hopefully we'll get White back out in this race, but certainly for race number 3 tomorrow. It's a big gap now between race 2 and race 3. And that might tell us what happened to White. Here's the background of that shot. Great slow-mo shot. It was Casey with the patched-up Bill Hines truck.
This is a great shot. Look at the tail shaft spinning in the background, in the back there, delivering the drive to the rear wheels. How cool is that? And look at this Trav Milburn's. That looks a bit second-hand. That steel bumper at the front there is a bit tweaked up as well. So it was a decent touch with Shea Davies.
Spectacular as it looks, the crew down in the paddock won't like what they're seeing. The fans like it. Scott Agars, who heads up this crew, had his birthday yesterday and loves nothing better than working on these Boost Mobile super trucks, but a bit of work to do at the end of race 2 as the green comes out again, and part 2 of race 2 on the streets of Townsville is underway.
Now we're restarting here. I'm going to watch out for Shea Davies. I reckon he's going to be trying to punch his way through the field here. Got the wrong end of the pineapple before, mate, and I reckon he's going to be looking to get his way back up to the lead. Look at him up the inside. He's trying to get a move done. And he's going to sneak up the 4th here. And he might even grab Toby Price on the exit to turn 2 here.
It'll be fired up now with Milburn dropping back behind Casey as they work their way through this. It's not really a straight, it's got a curve in it, and the change of direction here at turn number 3. So this is the idea of the competition cautions, to make sure we don't get big margins in the race. For someone that might have been turned around or caught up in an earlier incident, this is a chance to buy back into the race. It's Weel from Paul Morris. Toby Price, your race 1 winner. Davies just behind in that green Mount Margaret Estates entry. Just behind him is Richardson, Milburn and Casey.
Here we go, Paul Weel with the front lock there. He's got dude right on his hammer. And we see Shea Davies right on Toby Price, who went a little bit defensive into the corner there. Toby Price has got the elbows out. You know, he doesn't want to lose any spots here. It's good to see.
He's so excited to be back in the series. We had a chat to him in the pits after race number 1. He's having a bit of trouble pulling the Boost Mobile truck up down here at turn number 11. As he just scrapes the back of the Hulk 4x4, number 67, the famous number 67 out of Paul Morris Motorsport. The Dude's Ranch, where they keep all these trucks in between the rounds.
You can see just how tricky it is to get the 600 horsepower down. They're spinning the wheels, but they need to make sure they've got the car nice and straight when they hit those jumps. So it's a delicate act of making sure you get the maximum drive off the corner, but with 600 horses, they spin the wheels and get a bit of oversteer.
This part of the track is really fast on the way down. These trucks are capable of 230 kilometres per hour. It's a hard breakdown here. What's really a blind approach to turn number 2, Price and Davies.
So last time they were here, they had 2 jumps down the front straight, didn't they? So they've only got the 1 jump, so their approach into turn 1 and 2 is a lot faster than when they were here last time.
Absolutely. It's about keeping the brakes cool as well on these warm conditions. Well, Charlie, it's a bit more feeling in this second race today.
Yeah, it is. Our drifting champion didn't want to see you in pit lane. You're out for the day. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, we on the first lap, I just noticed the back brakes were locking up, and it just got worse and worse. And I was going down that main straight at warp speed and had no brakes, so it was quite scary. So I just nursed it back around, but it looks like we've broken a brake line. So I'm glad I got back here in one piece, and we'll battle it out tomorrow and see how we go.
We're glad you're back too. All the best tomorrow.
That's every race driver's worst nightmare, mate, having no brakes at the end of a fast straight. So good job for him to get that truck back nice and safe. And while we were at that interview, Toby Price moved up to second, Paul Morris back to third.
Great racing, isn't it, so far? And the cream always rises. I know it's a cliche, but it certainly does in this series as well. Morris is starting to feel the pressure from Davies in fourth position. I think the same's about to happen to Paul Weel. Because here comes our Dakar champ, engaged on the back of the KMC Wheels entry. Another lap in the books, and the charge down to turn number 1. With the size of these trucks too, Jack, they punch such a big hole in the air here.
They do, don't they? Well, this is a bit of a replay. Oh, so Dude ran wide. I didn't quite see that when we were having an interview in pit lane there with Charlie. But Dude ran wide, missed the apex. It's allowed Toby Price to sneak through, and Shea Davies was hot on his heels as well. But you're right, there'd be a bit of slipstream in it as well. It looked like Paul Weel actually got a better run off the jump and gave himself a bit of width there. And Toby Price has managed to catch that gap right back up now. As you notice, he's right on the back bumper bar.
And really noticeable at tracks in Australia here, like Hidden Valley with that long main straight they have, in particular in America with the big straight at the Belle Isle track in Detroit, and Road America where they can really get some high speed, but also have pack racing. That's what this series is about. Weel, Price and the Dude, the top 3. Lap 7 of this race.
Looking forward to hopefully having the Americans back here at some stage. Hey, Matt, we really do miss Robbie Gordon. He's the instigator behind this whole series. He put these trucks together, and so we've had some great names out here in the past, including EJ Vizo, Matthew Brabham, and all those guys. So no doubt they'll be watching in, and we're looking forward to having them back in Australia as soon as we can.
Now, Sheldon Creed, one of the best exports in the series as well. He's gone on to NASCAR truck competition. Bit of debris on the right-hand side. That's not surprising in the category. They're going to race at the Music City Grand Prix, the IndyCar race in Nashville, which everyone's excited about doing in August while they continue their American series. And take a look at this shot. 3 trucks in the air.
If you had to guess that, you think that looks like slot cars or something, doesn't it? It's crazy to watch them from the back, but they're real machines. That's awesome. Great footage here. We see Paul Weel with a wheel locked, and this is the lap that Dude got passed out a second. You see how wide he's running behind Paul, missing that apex. And this is Trav Milburn. A lot of damage to the front of that car, but looks like he's still pressing along okay, not too performance related, just the crash bars all bent up.
Great shots. We go back to racing. And the final segment of the race with Weel, Price and Morris. Shea Davies will go with them this time on the way down to turn number 1.
That's a great shot showing how high they're jumping above the roof line of the other trucks that are on the ground. But as you say, Paul Weel here, bit of pressure from Toby Price, a little bit of lock-in on the way in, but he's right on the back bumper.
Can he cover off Toby Price? It's amazing how Price hasn't driven one for 12 months and just slotted back in. I said, did you feel rusty? He goes, yeah, I was really worried I couldn't do this again. And just jumped back in, just driven the wheels off this Boost Mobile 87. He's heading back overseas soon as well, so it's a one-off appearance at this stage.
It shows how talented he is, and he's really good. You know, not just a motorbike rider, but on 4 wheels, winning the Think Desert Rally and really loving driving these stadium super trucks. So he'll be looking to try and get a move here. We see Shea Davies up the inside of Paul Morris.
He didn't do the Paul Morris approach to the turn that time. Is there a tougher guy in this series than Paul Morris to pass?
Well, I wouldn't have thought. I sort of held my breath there thinking, Shea, you're a pretty keen guy to keep it up the inside of Paul as he's turning down on you. But no, Paul's a great racer, hard and fair. You see Toby Price up the inside of Paul Weel. He's up there, he's alongside him.
Oh, good move.
Paul Weel around the outside, which will now leave him to the inside. Will he make the jump? Yes, they both make the jump.
Great
Toby
move.
Price has cleared him. Good job.
How's the way Weel just come over at the last second, forcing Price to make a decision? Should I stay here? And Price is like, what was that?
It's kind of like pressuring him into making a decision, isn't it? But it's great racing. This has been gloves off compared to the first one today.
Certainly has. I just saw Price look up into the mirror and see what was going on behind. In fact, I think his bonnet's starting to peel away. It is. And now Weel looking to make the move. That would have disturbed his vision for a moment through that blind approach, and now Weel repays the favour down here at turn 2, parks him on the outside, but needs to be careful with the trucks behind.
And that'd be pretty tricky for Toby Price. This is the replay, watch this. Oh. Bang, up goes the fiberglass bonnet. And you'll notice the sticker wrap, the Boost Mobile wrap, is keeping the bonnet together on top. And with all traditionally right-hand corners around this circuit, looking out over that bonnet would be pretty tricky for Toby.
They're tough stickers.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeping that bonnet together.
Through the left-hander. And working our way towards the end of this race. So can Price come back at Paul Weel? Shay Davies hasn't given up on Paul Morris. This is his favourite point of the track. Now he's trying the outside. Could he get the job done here? No, not this time round. There's still some time on his side. 2 laps remaining.
Am I right in saying they're a little bit short in spares too? So by the end of the weekend, we might see a few of them missing the bonnets at the start of the race.
Yeah, it's a very good point because we didn't get a chance to go back to Norwell in Queensland before we come here. So the work was done up in Darwin and over here in Townsville in the lead up to the event. So they will be starting to feel the pressure of the spare parts inventory.
Oh, look at Toby. That bonnet's not slowing him down. He's pretty committed. You see him in second there over the jump here. Nice job, all 4 of them pretty smooth over that jump.
Price will be just hoping now the wind gets underneath and rips away that bonnet to clear his vision, because that would be playing havoc with him right now.
And it takes your distraction a bit too, you know, your concentration does dwindle when you're wondering whether that's going to fly up or end up in the cabin or something, but you see dudes all over it. Oh, he's locked the rears.
Oh, no.
He's put him in front of Shay Davies, spun the dude around.
That was an awkward incident.
It was kind of like the left rear of Paul Morris's truck just clipped the front of Shay Davies' car as he had the rears locked, and here we go, replay. So Shay Davies on the right of screen.
So he's given Price a nudge at the same time. He's struggling to pull that truck up. I wonder if he's got brake issues again. And knocks into the concrete wall. They'll lose a couple of positions out of that. Puts Richardson and Melbourne up to 3rd and 4th place. And now Toby Price is back. Price is on the back of the KMC Wheels entry.
And it's given these two breathing space out in front. So Toby Price, eyes forward now. He doesn't have to look in his rear vision mirror. He's looking up the inside here. This is one of the trickiest ramps coming up now. You've got the loaded corner. Get the car straight or the truck straight. See, here we go here. Long corner here. Can Toby Price set it up the inside? Looks like Paul Weel going a little bit defensive. Price to the outside.
To the way he stepped out across Boundary Street then. And now just pulls his Boost Mobile 87 up at that tight, slowest point hairpin on the course.
He's given it a big bootful of throttle, had a big oversteer, and he's had to recorrect it. He lost a bit of ground. Well, that was good to watch.
Final turn of this lap. He hasn't given up. Driving the wheels off the 87. He comes to the finish line now and takes the win. Paul Weel will pick up the win in race number 2 of Boost Mobile Super Trucks here today. The bonnet on the 87 just holding on at the end by the depth of the sticker on the Boost Mobile entry. The dude and Shay Davies now. Look underneath here. It's been some more. It's been on down here. Now, what did I say before? If you're going to make the pass on the dude and it doesn't work, there could be more, but Davies has repaid him on this occasion.
It was interesting. It looked like there's something hanging out at the front of Paul's truck as well, so there may not have been bringing back the biffo so much, but certainly some damage to the steer. Oh, there we go, broken tie rod. You can see the tie rod hanging on the ground. That bit dragging on the ground should be attached to the tyre, which would mean it'd be pointing straight, not hard right.
It's on for a holiday right now, so have a look at this again. So there it is dragging on the ground, but watch Davies. Hand comes up as well.
Yeah, I think, Shay wouldn't have known that Paul's truck was damaged. He's tried to just drive around the outside. Paul's got to the corner, couldn't turn right because that steering rod's broken. So, look, it might have seemed to Shay like it was a bit of a square up, but I don't think it was.
I tend to agree. And there's Morris trying to win the Hulk 4x4 entry, and now he'll try and peel this off. You can hear the Continental tyre just scraping away on the bitumen course here, and he'll go straight back into the paddock in what was a bruising, brutal affair in race number 2 of Boost Mobile Super Trucks, won by Paul Weel from Toby Price, Melbourne, Richardson and Casey up there in 5th position. Morris and Davies can't wait to get to the pits and see what goes on in this one. 6th and 7th position, Phil Foster and Rob White.